No brains, like, no brains at all. Literally no brains. Well, here we are back again, Wheelie, and despite the ongoing COVID crisis that's developed across mainly New South Wales the last couple of weeks, we're happy to bring another episode of Frogs Hollow TV live from our beautiful Frogs Hollow studio here in Wynarka, and of course our tremendous partners TC Media and Rose & Sons Earth Moving. It's going to be another ripper.
Yeah, it should be good, Toby. Pity we can't get any stuff in New South Wales, mate, but anyhow, we'll move on.
So it's a jam-packed show, so we'll get straight down to the action. Well, what a night we're in for. First up, we'll review the Glass Wynarka Enduro hosted by the Summit Racing Team Car Club last weekend in South Australia. What a name. Great event. And of course, the famous Alice Springs Off-Road Racing Club 12-hour Enduro, which is another event that we've already got on our bucket list, hearing about that for the last week or so, which was held over the first Sunday of August. We'll then rewind the clock back to 2019 for a blast from the past segment, which will feature our very own Bryce the Mad Dog Chapman, Run Amok Racing's number one man. Thanks to Benny Hutt there for some in-car footage. We'll also catch up with some news from around the track before bulging into our event previews for the show, which are this weekend, the Zoom's Cup at Inglewood, which is still going ahead at this stage of filming, and the Cochrane's Midwest Challenge in WA. So much to look forward to, and Wheelie, it's going to be a good show.
Let's hope so, Tobe. Like I said, let's get a lot more race under our belt, but anyhow, just got to see what the COVID's going to do, and people got to do the right thing.
So sport by a fantastic band of contributors once again, who provide us with some incredible footage. Derek, without these photographers, a video that they've sent in, it just gives you. I've had that.
Tobe, you get the emails. I don't, okay, but I'm telling you, there's too many to mention, right? But without any of them there on this bit of paper, this wouldn't happen, mate.
I'm going to mention them now.
Yeah, well, you can mention them, but I'm saying me.
So on tonight's show, we'd like to thank Paul Chorlton from Aussie Off-Road Media. Great stuff. The Aaron Havey highlights. He's got some awesome clips of Luke Ersedge, Chris Pickett, and also he captured a near miss he was actually in a Class 5 vehicle, and he captured in the GoPro this Doug Petty going past in a pro bag and nearly having a big off. So he's also got that on the show. It's not to miss. Also to BD Brendan Wilson for his awesome event highlights from Wynarka down there. Likewise, a huge shout out to Toby Waitley and his crew at Loveday Motor Park. The guy's an absolute lunatic. You'll see it yourself at the end of the show. In-car footage of that rush truck, and he set some good times, but it wasn't his weekend again. And also some full send mode clips courtesy of One Shot Media there at the end of the show. We're also privileged enough to be able to show a small teaser from within Aaron Havey's Element machine. That is awesome to watch.
Yeah, that will be good, Davey. I'm pretty sure the viewers will like to see that too.
Yeah,
he's a freak.
He's a freak. And exclusive for next episode, I've just been off the phone Aaron this afternoon, and he will be on the next show. Live interview.
Yep, live interview.
So if you think this show is going to be good, Aaron Havey could spice the next one up even more. To Paddy Weir from the Alice Springs Off-Road Club, thank you for your shots from the 12-hour Enduro, which were won by sons Jack and Tim. They were one of the cars in the two-car crew, so thanks to Paddy. To Ben Hart, of course, for providing us the magic in-car footage of Bryce Mad Dog Chapman at Milberdale, and to Bobby Sandu of Lens Nation Studio over in Perth for your wicked promo clip from the Midwest Challenge this weekend, which we'll see at the end of the show, so that's sensational. So now straight into our event reviews. The 2021 Glass Enduro Round 4 of the 2021 South Australian Off-Road Racing Association Series, hosted by the Summit Racing Team Club and, well, Aaron Havey. And daughter Chelsea who navigated
Chelsea was in as well. I see that
hold on.
when I watched it, and I tell them kids, they must love it too.
Yeah.
She's the whole family loved it.
Great team. But as I said, just out of this world form, the ORC released an article today about the hot run, the dream run of Aaron Havey continues. It's his third win of 2021. He had a 2-second gap in the prologue, and just turned it on the Sunday afternoon. And 5.5 minute victory in that Toyota twin turbo Element Prodigy number 2. And
yeah, and I'll tell you what, mate, the car's holding together. The engine's a bloody good built engine, and
just keeps on keeping on.
Keep on.
And I was thinking today before the show, like he's not gonna go out there and blow a field away, but it's just his
consistency.
That's his consistency
and
his approach. And
he's a bit like, I know you should put it, but a bit like Shannon. He just keeps his cool, knows how to do it,
and he gets to the finish.
And he gets to the finish line. And at the end of the day, how do you win races? How do you win championships?
You've got to get to the checkered
You've got to get to the checkered flag, mate.
So he had the outright wins at Perilla and Wakely also this year, and only the power steering failure ended his outright chances at Pencarry.
That's right.
And he also had the wins at Loveday 400 last October and the David Larder Night Enduro in November last year, and that was coming off the end of the Pines Enduro victory in 2019, which secured the ARB number 1 plate. So he's won 6 of his last 7 victories, and it would have been 7 if it wasn't for that power steering fail. So there's no one hotter in Australian off-road. I don't know if anyone can... We'll wait and see as the year goes on. I was talking to him today, as I said. He was hoping for Loveday and Rainbow. I'm not sure about Rainbow now, but hopefully Loveday will go ahead. So it'd be good to see him against those.
I think Loveday, if the restrictions ease, but I think Loveday, I reckon they'll definitely run one at the end of the year.
Melissa Leam and Emily Brandle, the family outing, worked their way from 5th overnight to 2nd outright in that Illumi craft. You battled him a couple of times over St George. They're beautiful. It's a beautifully presented car.
Nice cars, mate. They're nothing like what I drive, but just imagine getting to drive one of them.
So he's really,
pleasure.
So he's really working his way up through he had a 15th finish at St George and had a 5th in class at Fink. So look out for Mel Brandle. Congratulations to you guys down there in Adelaide. Local hard charger Brennan Force returned to South Australia podium after a strong 3rd outright. 4 minutes adrift of Brandle in the single-seater Nissan Southern Cross Mark V. Great to see him back out on track.
Yeah, good to see him back on track. Another Australian-built car, Southern Cross, mate. Another Southern Cross up there.
Thousands of them around.
There is thousands of them.
Andrew Fitzgerald and Matty Barrett in the 902, another Element machine, finished a tantalising 3 seconds off a podium finish. Over 280 kilometres, that's just...
3 seconds, that's
3
a lot of
seconds.
hurt, you did right, a lot of hurt, just one gear change or one up on the berm on a corner, just... it's a stroll there, should hold it down.
Just shows the Element cars, it's always thereabouts.
And they're coming, mate, they're coming.
The recent Port Germain champion, Darryl Nissen, continued his red-hot form with a 5th outright, a minute adrift of Fitzgerald, keeping his championship hopes alive. And this year, the Wynarka event also hosted the 2021 Performance Tour Drive Winter Nationals, which was the first time that was ran. This is up your alley a few years ago. Every Class 5 that entered went in for a $500 prize pool, big trophy, and I think they had 6 entries, and Chris Pickett got the win, 6th outright. That Mitsubishi Triton's just off its head.
And the thing about it is, it is off its head, and how good is it just to bring stuff like that into a race? Cool. And they don't understand, the old school, the new school, doesn't matter. If you throw that in, it just brings people, brings the crowd, brings the families. So that's what you want.
Young Millie Vanderwood, which is Darren's younger daughter, she finished 2nd in the class, so congratulations to her. And unfortunately, Trent Gravestock was home in 3rd in that production tour driving the F100, but he didn't finish. He had a few issues late on Sunday. Luke Ersedge was low flying towards an outright podium in his Ersedge Motorsport Honey Badger machine. Only a couple of races under the belt, and it's a pretty unique looking thing, but
it's a neat,
does the job.
Does the job, sort it out, and away it'll go.
So, as you know, new cars always take a couple to get things right. Toby Waitley was on song early in the team's big orange rush truck until dropping a valve on Saturday afternoon. Chris Johnson, Tony Waitley, David Hall, Matthew Curtis, other notables to not greet the checkered flag. once again, outstanding footage, incredible to see, and it just gives you that, like, for our point of view, we can appreciate talking about the race, but people at home that can't get to as many races and that different terrain and the speed at some at Havey and even the picket and
you're right,
the honey badger through the trees.
You're right, and end of the day, our viewers don't get to go to a lot of races.
So,
and the people that are actually coming on board that are watching some of this are not even races.
They just love watching
and they just love watching it. And that just gives them a real insight of what we actually do and what people... There's some big people, some big you-know-whats out there.
Yeah. And before we leave the Wynarka wrap, I'm so excited for the next episode. Aaron Havey, he won't be here with us, but we'll get him on the phone and we'll talk things and get a bit of an insight into his dream run. So now the Alice Springs Off-Road Race Club 12-hour Enduro, an incredible event. It has to be on everyone's bucket list. It's one of those events where you hear about it, and unless you get involved in it and actually sit down and look at the logistics of it, it's an incredible... I know Rusty and Jody Bell have been good mates of ours, have been up there commentating for the last over a decade and stuff, but at the Orange Creek Station there in Alice Springs, and it's literally a 4 days racing. They start at 7 a.m. and they go till 7 p.m. There's 2 cars per team. I think they had 11 teams. Now, I think the only rules are you can only have 1 car of your team on the track at once. If you break down, there was a 70 kilometre lap. If you break down at the 60k mark, your bloke has got to be notified back at the headquarters, and then you've got to go catch him, get the flag off him, and then finish the lap. So it's brutal.
How good would that be?
How good is it? And so I think the only rule really is that only one driver can do no more than 60%, unless...
That's fair call, but that's all I do.
But if one car breaks down, the driver can still drive the car. So there's a bit of strategy behind it, but what an event. This year, the Let's Go Racing Pilot team of Greg Hooker Hicks in his Southern Cross Mark V and brothers Jack and Tim Weir in their Jimco 2000 series finished 16 laps in a total time of 11 hours and 34 minutes, nearly 1,150 kilometres of racing. Like, you sit here and...
Imagine the prep going into their cars.
But you'll get to the big part here in a minute. So that was first place. Second position was Chucky Boy's team of Andrew Miles, we all know Milesy in the Razorback, and Jacob Booth, car 70 in his Porter. They finished 24 minutes adrift. I think they just finished their 16th lap also. So it was 2 crews that finished 16 laps. It's a lot of racing over a 70 kilometre circuit.
That's a lot of racing.
A lot of racing in one day.
And in that desert, geez, it a chopper.
Yeah, I know. They did say it was very rugged out there towards the end. And also to complete 15 laps was a Super 1650 team. Now this would be up your alley. Oh. They called themselves Them and Us, and it was Ken Callanan. So I know Ken loves the show, so big shout to you up there in Alice Springs, mate, in the 286. And Darren Wright to record an incredible, as I said, 15 laps in Class 2 machines over a 70 kilometre circuit.
I tell you what, that's painful. I feel with kidneys
and there was some footage on the KC Racing page, which was Ken's page, of his mate Darren Wright coming in. It looked like it was dark, so it would have been around that 7 p.m. mark. And what a feeling, third outright. But once again, that's the Alice Springs Off-Road Race Club 12-hour Enduro wrap. But
good on.
Yeah, exciting. I know Bo's done it before, and they usually get a couple of the bigger names. Obviously with COVID and stuff, it's a bit hard for them to commit to an event like that, but only bigger and better things for that. We'll now go to our Blast from the Past segment, and for this week we're lucky enough to be sending some fantastic in-car footage from Ben Hutt. He's mad as well.
He's mad, he's literally mad.
Oh, another mad bloke, runner Max Bryce, the Mad Dog Chapman down there in Tamworth. Finished second outright at the 2019 Headworld Milberdale Mountain Classic, the last time the event was held. It feels so long ago. I wasn't there, I was over in Europe sunning it up, but you're down there at the cold.
First race at Milberdale in the Southern Cross. Brad Hall was beside me, and I think we were running third outright at the time. Yeah. Chasing Chapo, actually.
So, as we watch the footage here, you're the man at the moment on the spot here. What does it take to the Milberdale track? It throws everything at you. That short course, as you'll see from this footage from Bryce Chapman, you've got to be fully committed.
If you're going to Milberdale to win Milberdale, you've got to be committed. You've got to go hard. Car's got to be right, and not being silly. You've got to lose a few brains, because when you start lining up two by side, 3, 4,
it gets sketchy.
It does. It gets sketchy. And Chapo's car, mate. Like it's a bloody good car. It's a big car too. Like, it does look a bit tough up in the top section, I could imagine. Like I've never been in it, but it's a big car. Even going from class 2 to this thing up the top of the hill, it does it.
Yeah.
But mate, he's loose,
Yeah.
and if he can get a finish and get the right thing done, he can live in every race.
Yeah.
Warrior Elder, mate.
And Josh Howes, obviously that year,
Yep.
got his second outright victory at the race with Brian Erskine there beside him in the Gymco. They had a 3-minute victory over Bryce there. Yeah, Josh is another one that just same
Josh
thing.
is the same deal, mate. He's coming through the ranks. He started off back in the days with not being it, shit bomb, and he deserves it.
Yeah.
But and even Bryce will say, mate, he does deserve it, mate.
Good mates off the
They're
track.
good mates off the track, but when you're on the track, check a flag.
She's on.
That's what you got to chase.
An ARC regular Peter Carr claimed a huge third outright in his
third outright.
Can-Am ahead of another Can-Am, Glenn Ackroyd and Jay Neat was there in 5th. So the footage tells itself, and just a quick word on the Milberdale event as a whole, like with the hospitality, the camp. It's just one of those events I just hate missing out on each year.
And COVID stuffed it, mate, and COVID stuffed a lot of events, and till we get on top of this, mate. Let's hope next year is a totally different thing. Get a few vaccinations, mate, and we'll get into it.
So let's listen in to a bit of Bryce Chapman. Really nothing better than hearing that angry V8 roar. We've heard it so many times here over the years. He's a huge talent. He had his big win at Gundawindi in 2019, got their first outright at the national level. Can't wait to see Bryce back out on track in 2022.
Good, mate. Let's hope we all get back on track and ride wheels.
So now into news from around the track. Firstly, big news from us all here, Derek. Unfortunately, the Warrior Order 100 Rigmaster Warrior 200 has been canned for 2021. Nothing as a committee member, nothing as a club, community we could do much about. It's very wet here. COVID is just, it'll ruin, I think, all New South Wales events for the rest of the year.
It will for the rest of the year.
We're just no choice with where we stand there. So that's terrible news, of course. At the time of the show, we're still unsure if round 3 of the Motorsport Australia AORC Rainbow event will head off, but 72 cars looks highly doubtful with the Victorian little cluster there at the moment. We'll see what happens there. The Men of Enduro in South Australia is penciled in for the second weekend of September, so another great annual event ready to rumble down there. The Don River Dash is full, over 100 entries to date. That is the second weekend of September also. Hopefully COVID improves, we might even get in there. We've got an entry in, so we'll see what happens there for the Burdekin Club holding their third Don River Dash. And this weekend, the Markle Demolition Short Course Challenge in Charters Towers is also running, so good luck to all competing there in North Queensland. So now into our preview segment for this week's show. We have 2 events scheduled for the next weekend to bulge into. We'll start off with the 2021 Zooms Cup at Inglewood, and we've been there twice, really. It's a great event, 15-kilometre circuit, and at the time of this show, right here, right now, they're still going ahead. Still some things could change, but I believe about 25 cars will meet the green light there. Defending champion Brett Comiskey has entered once again in his Racer Engineering Trophy truck. Won't be allowed to win a trophy because it's an invitational class only, but he'll be one to watch for sure on the tight circuit. I don't know if he'll be as quick in the Jimco, but we'll wait and see. Kai Floyd, well, I've said enough about him over this show, looking for his 4th outright victory for 2021. He'll be there for his Inglewood debut. He'll have the Swinglehurst brothers beside him, Tom and Jake. They're very quick competitors. Former champion Richard Tassen's in the field. He's one to watch. And also Zach Marsh there from Brizzy. So a great side-by-side battle, I'm sure, will unfold up there this weekend. And Moles Newborn, Paul Newman and Luke McNichol will be the leading tin top challengers. Tip for Inglewood, Derek?
I know he can't win a trophy, but yeah, Brett Comiskey.
You're going to go with Comiskey?
Yeah, I am, because I'll tell you what, up there,
goes straight.
He come from way down, up. Inglewood's got a few good straights, mate.
But he showed at Moranbah in that top. That wasn't a trophy. That wasn't a top.
But it just showed where he went to, mate. So, and he's getting used to like that truck of, I know he's driving, but getting used to the Australian conditions with it. So
look out. I'm gonna go against Kai. Nothing personal, mate. I hope you get the win. I hope you get the win, but I can't keep calling your name. I'm gonna go with Tom Swinglehurst. I'm just gonna think.
Yeah, well.
SRT Racing members might get a victory up there. Now to the Cochrane's Midwest Challenge, round 3 of the 2021 Western Australian Motorsport Australia Off-Road Championship. And before we start on the preview, I'd just like to say a big thank you. We've actually got our own WA form expert.
Yeah, I know. How good's that?
Jason Glears chimed in for the show, and he's not only gave us some insight into the competitors, which, as we know, we've been to Kalgoorlie, but we don't know the full. There's a lot of up-and-coming drivers, and he's also making the trek up. I think it's about 300 kilometres north of Perth. So he's going to make the trek up for us. He's going to be at the event. He's going to get some action footage and also some interviews for our show next week. So thanks, Jace, for it's very appreciative for our show moving forward. So as I said, north of Perth, it's held primarily on a sand-based property, which sets it apart from all other events in WA. The Midwest Challenge, it's got a combination of whoops, tight rudder berms, rocks which get dug into the air, and also some fast-flowing runs. History shows that you've got to be at the finish. It's really hard on the cars, and
any race you'll be at the finish, but
this
race
in
range
particular,
over
that
there,
sand, you know, it's a bit like Nabiac.
I did read a little bit about it, and I reckon, like Nabiac. But see, Nabiac hasn't got a lot of rock mud, but over there it has. So,
and it's got a history of the favourites not making the checkered flag, so it throws a bit of a spanner in the words. Another strong field of 33 will assemble, leading the charge in his Toyota-powered SS Racetech Prolite. His current WA Championship leader, Jared Percival, who has also won the championship in 2017. By Jason Gallier, comments on our little form guide here. He won't be the quickest, but he'll be thereabouts, and he always has one eye on the championship, Jared. So he's a smart peddler.
So he's the bloke. He's the bloke to watch. He's the bloke that keeps
it cool. I'm a bit of a outsider here. I'm going to go Jared Percival for a win. Harley Uren in his Pro 2 trophy truck. Well, we saw him at Kalgoorlie in 19. He was incredible, second behind Bo. He won this event back in 2019, so knows the track better than anyone. And those trucks, as it gets rougher, you think he'll get quicker.
He'll come it on. He'll bring it on.
And he also won the Perenjori event round 1 of the WA Championship earlier in the year. So one to watch. The red hot Stephen Ketteridge Hall was second at Perenjori back in April. Was always at the front in his Bullet Prolite machine. And WA form expert Jason Gallier is expecting him to be right amongst the mix.
Oh, he'll be amongst the mix.
He was the one that he navigated for Bo at St George, so there's no.
Oh yeah, it was
no.
Yes.
He's not scared of going fast.
He's not scared of going fast.
Jared Grahal is currently second in the WA Championship. He's had a good year today. He had a great result at Perenjori and a giant killing run at the Gascoyne Dash where he finished third in a little side-by-side Can-Am. In his first year of off-road, it was an impressive outing.
Bloody impressive.
Those Can-Ams,
the Can-Ams.
They're very popular in the West. WA veteran Ken Stiles in the former Brad Cooper Bat Pro Buggy will be there. He's a former WAC champion himself. He's a veteran of the field. So all the best to Ken Stiles, along with experienced and fast Stephen Phillips, who we've seen go well at Fink and some big races over the years with his father Eric. So that's the Midwest Challenge. So I'll go Percival. Who are you going to go for your tip?
Harley Urine.
Yeah, Trophy Truck. Yeah, there you go. I've never heard Derek tip a Trophy Truck for a win, but she's on. So before we leave the Midwest Challenge, here, check this fantastic promo clip out from our good mate Bobby Sandu at Les Nation Films to just get the vibes going for a big weekend in WA. Check it out.
It's time to draw a line in the sand and the rocks. The Cochrane's Midwest Challenge is set to rock on the 14th and 15th of August. If the sands don't sink ya, the rocks are going to kink ya.
It's them sort of little clips that just make you want to go racing.
And it does, and them blokes allowing us to do that.
Yeah.
Mate, hats off to you. Hats off to all of you.
They don't, as I said, they don't have to give the
They don't have to at all.
The shows, the last episode went pretty good,
Yeah,
so hopefully this one will get shared around. So, well, that's about all we have time for again tonight, Wheelie. To all the help make this show possible, as we just mentioned, thank you from us all, not just you or me, but from our producers. We've got a big team behind us that help us set up the camera and make us look good for the show.
Yeah, we have, but also, mate, I know like there's 1,000 people to thank, but at the end of the day, thanks to everyone.
Yeah.
I know who we're talking about, mate. Anyone that's ever texted you, text me, text any of us.
I really need a new phone already for the messages. So just before we leave tonight, sit back in your chair for probably about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and literally enjoy some of Toby Waitley and Simon Herman from the weekend down there at Wynarka. Incredible. That truck, he's a beast.
How good's it looking? Like, kind of alright.
He is looking good. Stay safe, everyone, in some pretty ordinary times we're living in. But I'm sure we'll all get through it. Have a great weekend and stay tuned for our next show. Enjoy Toby Waitley. Cheers.